What I wanted to ask you overall is, as a developer, what do you feel like from your perspective? What do you feel your job is? And kind of like, could you give us some insights on how your team executes that job? Because you have a very interesting job, in my opinion. And I would just like some behind the scenes insight into like what you do, how do you see your job, and how do you execute your job?
What I do, or what we do, I guess, as game developers is highly varied. Like most software industries, there's a lot of different disciplines. We have coders, we have content designers who work with the game script. We have artists, we have 3D artists, etc. We have these archetypes, these disciplines. And I think in any production industry, the ideas are the easy part. I wouldn't call them always easy, but if you want an idea for an expansion or an idea for a feature, it's fun. It's the 5%. The 95% is the execution, and it's making sure that you get everyone working towards a common goal. That's often the hard part, making sure they understand why they're doing what they're doing, structuring the process to get there, having enough opportunity to iterate on what you're trying to do. It's no good deciding that you're going to go in one direction and you can build the new supply system or something and then just sitting down and going for it. Using the supply system as an example, we had this idea that we wanted to redo it for No Step Back. We did, and at various points along the way we had check-ins and say, is this fun? How can we improve it? And it got perilously close to the end before we decided we're okay with this now. It was a difficult process, and I think the most difficult part of that is trying to telegraph to both the team and the players, like, why is this fun? What are we actually doing with it, and how can we make it apply in the best way possible to the fabric of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys had a great video that came out for April Fools, the future of HOI. Does this type of content, like I really enjoyed the By Blood Alone content that you guys released. Is this like more of a team building exercise for you guys? I know that the By Blood Alone release videos were obviously to share the game with everyone, but the April Fools thing, can you tell us a little bit about that? Was that video like a team building exercise?
We try and do an April Fools every year. Sometimes we put more effort into it than other years. It's been anything from a forum thread to a video to a meme post on Twitter or something. This time it was more, and I guess, yes, it's an opportunity for team building. You have somebody in the team that really latches onto the concept of, hey, this is a really fun idea. I want to take it and I want to make it mine and make it better than just a forum post. And we had that this year. So yeah, the team owned it. It's a sort of organic team building exercise, I suppose.
Any regrets so far with anything in the game development sphere? Anything that you added to the game or took away that you regret and had to fix, or anything about the game development that you regret?
Most certainly, but it's impossible, I think, in this industry never to make any mistake. Show me somebody who has, and I'll show you a liar. I think BBA was a good example of where we changed too much at once without necessarily bringing anything new to the table. A lot of the criticism about By Blood Alone was around the peace conferences and around the new plane mechanics. And these are both mechanics which we changed, but which were already established. So you're changing player habits by introducing a new system over the top of an old one. And if I look back to the supply system again in No Step Back, this was also introducing a new system, but the old system didn't really exist. There was no real interaction. There was no established habit. So we could afford to introduce a lot of change here because it was creating new gameplay. It wasn't just changing old gameplay. And then in the plane rework in By Blood Alone, we obviously changed wing sizes. That was a very unpopular change, albeit for the good of the game, but it was changing something that was established and had a lot of gameplay already around it. At the same time as we changed peace conferences, which had an established gameplay and had expected outcomes, and we took some of those away to an extent. And I think that made a lot of people a little unhappy. And that's something we probably aim not to do again in such a wide degree in future, because it was a lot of change at once, and it was a lot of restriction on top of that.
Is this why you went to like the monthly updates? So instead of like having a release and boom, all these mechanics changed, you're instead trying to balance the game out like little by little?
I guess that's a side effect of it. I wouldn't say that's why we did it. I think why we did it is just because it's a clear and obvious need for a long lifetime game. It's not like an EA game where you release a big blockbuster every 2 years or every 1 year if you're feeling productive. These are games that live for, how long's it been now? 8 years, I think, for HOI. It's a long time, and it's showing no signs of going away anytime soon. It's going to be here for the duration. We want to support it for the duration, and that means actually not just pouring all of our resources into the next big thing, as profitable as that may be. I think it's also profitable to have a game that can last a lifetime.